What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Eddie Hearn. Get this. Eddie Hearn states that Anthony Joshua is still the biggest draw in boxing, not Tyson Fury. Well, Eddie Hearn, of course, does I don't know how many interviews a week, a day, or whenever. But I do remember an interview he did have concerning Tyson Fury, and he admitted that Tyson Fury right now, is the best heavyweight in the world. Okay, and I think him reiterating this, stating that Anthony Joshua was the biggest draw in boxing, not Tyson Fury, is a way of countering what he had to say, pretty much cleaning up the damage that he made to the brand of Anthony Joshua when he did say that Tyson Fury, another fighter that is not his fighter, is better than a fighter that is his fighter that he promotes, which is Anthony Joshua. I think this is one of the reasons he said that, just to, slap the paint over whatever he's already painted on or wrote on or scribbled on, right? And I feel that he's done that for that reason. Now, the question you ask yourself is he telling the truth, though? Is it just damage control that means absolutely nothing? And the answer is yes, he is telling the truth. Okay, and what he's saying does mean something, okay, to clear that up. And the reason for that is because Anthony Joshua is the biggest draw. He's been the biggest draw. If you ask Tyson Fury, he's the only guy that I will come out of retirement with. Now, all of a sudden, I'm going to fight Derek Chisora, but it's really about fighting Anthony Joshua for free. I bet you won't fight Derek Chisora for free. So we know damn well you won't fight Anthony Joshua for free. The same guy that says, hey, I swear to God, I will fight Anthony Joshua, and I think it's always been maybe like a competitive rivalry between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua for the last 5 or 6 years. Ever since like 2017, when Joshua did what Tyson Fury did also, but did it more convincingly and more excitingly. Okay. And I think since then, since all the money that he's made and accumulated, with the rematch with Andy Ruiz and, this upcoming fight for 100 million and all this stuff. See, I think people pay attention. People pay attention. And I think people either congratulate or hate, envy certain things. And Anthony Joshua, he gets a lot of hatred because he does make a lot of money. In fact, I think he makes more money than anybody. Counterpunch, I think, because Canelo might have the contract, but he had to renegotiate that contract. So, but as far as heavyweights go, for sake of argument, he is the biggest. We just recently heard Shelly Finkel come out and say, you know what? I still think Anthony Joshua is a huge fight, even if he loses to Usyk, because they already know what he can draw. And I don't think Shelly Finkel has time to dick around and do what he did 4 years ago with Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder doesn't need protection anymore. If he loses, he loses. If he wins, he wins. But there won't be any type of shield of protection any longer. Why? Because people are getting tired. People are getting beat. People are getting older. People are getting past their prime. And Shelly Finkel knows it's time. Bars. It's time to get paid. It's time to look, let's let bygones be bygones. I don't like Eddie Hearn, but I'm willing to work with him, and I want it on DAZN. And it's going to have to be on DAZN. Because again, Eddie Hearn has signed Anthony Joshua, or really Anthony Joshua has signed himself to a lucrative deal with DAZN. So he's not going anywhere. So we already know that. So that should tell you, if you got all the top guys, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Andy Ruiz, Alexander Usyk's fighting him in less than 2 weeks. If we have Joe Joyce, if we have all these fighters and they all talk about Anthony Joshua, what do you think that means? Of course he's the biggest draw in boxing. Of course he is. So what Eddie Hearn said was, hey, let me tell you some truth to cover up the reality of who I think and what I said. Maybe I shouldn't have said it, but I'm saying this. Anthony Joshua is a bigger draw than Tyson Fury. But, when you put them together, it makes it that much bigger. Okay? And let me give you guys a history lesson about boxing. we had Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather, wanting to fight Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya was the man. He had 3 or 4 losses, maybe more. And Floyd wanted the opportunity to fight Oscar De La Hoya because he knew if he beat Oscar De La Hoya, he will become the man. He will become the man that beat the man, but most importantly, he would become the money man because he knew he could draw with Oscar De La Hoya because Oscar De La Hoya not only had American fans, he also had the Mexican fans. Okay, so Oscar De La Hoya was known. Then he was a golden Olympian. Too bad for Floyd and Roy for getting the Olympic gold snatched from them, which wasn't wrong. I'll do a video on that all by itself. But, you know, Oscar De La Hoya was the golden boy. He was the Sugar Ray Leonard of his time. He had all the dough. Okay. And Floyd knew that. Floyd knew he wasn't the biggest draw, but he knew if he fought this guy, he would be. That's exactly what Tyson Fury's doing. He knows he needs Anthony Joshua for that particular fight. He's not going anywhere, and especially if Anthony Joshua drops or KOs Usyk somehow, right? You know Tyson Fury will become knocking. He will say everything under the sun to get that fight won. Bars. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Eddie Hearn stating that Anthony Joshua is the biggest draw in the sport of boxing over Tyson Fury. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.